Hello, it's Rainbow. We're working with some wicket wool today. I want to show you what I got going on here. Okay, we've got our second bobbin going. So I just took off the other bobbin. It's got some wool spun up on it already. And so I'm trying to get this bobbin to about the amount that I have on the other bobbin. So at least I know kind of where I'm at here. One thing I wanted to share with you today is a little bit about the spinning wheel. That was one of the questions that I had in the feedback, was how does that thing work? So let's see if I can help break it down a little bit for you. So my spinning wheel has two treadles. So that's where my feet are working. And so those treadles are attached to those vertical boards, these verticals right here. And this is going to make my big wheel spin. So that's how my big wheel spins. So let's see, this right here is my drive band. So my drive band goes from my big wheel right to this notch here. This is like that. This is the front part of my spinning wheel. This is where everything is happening. So this drive band, it's just a cloth band. It is going to make this whole thing here spin. And I can spin this, and you can see my bobbin is not moving. So when this drive band is moving and the big wheel's moving, it is putting the twist. Let's see. It's making this right here spin. So my orifice spins, it makes all my yarn spin. So this is where my spin is coming from. It's from this piece right here and right out of the orifice. So it's through that orifice there that the yarn gets pulled. Right here it comes out, comes up on this eye hook, comes over to this, that little hook there, and that's where it gets, and then it goes winds onto the bobbin from there. So this here is my bobbin. This can be taken off. I can put on a new one. That's how I change them out. And then right here, this right here, that is my tension band. So I have a little spring down here. So my tension band goes over this side of the bobbin, and it determines on how much pull. So if my tension is really tight, this yarn going in through the orifice is going to try and pull hard. If it's really loose, when I let that yarn go onto the bobbin, it would just kind of hang here and it wouldn't pull on. So that's what's going on with the tensioner. And right back here, this knob here, that's how I adjust my tension. Does that make more sense? Does that make more sense? I hope so. So if we get, oh, would you like to see the wool? This is it. This is it. That's what we have left. Wicket wool. Okay. So we have a small little row log here. We'll add it on. So it's just those tips of those fibers on that row log. And you remember all the shorts I've been pulling out, if it's short little piece, little fuzz balls. So we don't want them in there because if it's a bunch of short little pieces, we can't get enough twist in it to hold it all together. So the longer the fibers, the better. Sometimes. Consistency is nice, actually. If you have consistency, that's just really nice. So when I stop like that, I'm drafting it out. I'm helping these fibers spread out. Can you see that? I've got a white background, it's not helpful. So we want to get kind of a consistent amount of fibers every time. So when we have a lot of shorts and a lot of variability, you've got to feel out where it is and how much you can draft back before you can get that twist in there to lock it in place. There's been a few times I've lost it. It just whoosh. The delicate fibers of Wicket. So I had a question, and it was, how long have I been doing this? And it's been really fun just kind of thinking back on my whole wool adventure. I tried spinning as a child once, I think. I remember somehow we got a spinning wheel. And the reason we would have a spinning wheel is because I grew up on a sheep farm. And so on the sheep farm, as one of our jobs, we would have to pack the wool down when it was sheep shearing time. We'd have to get in this big, huge gunny sack, climb up a ladder, jump inside the gunny sack, and jump on all the wool inside this gunny sack. It was a big gunny sack. Huge. Maybe that was my childhood eyes. I don't know. But I never learned how to spin as a kid. And so my interest came later in college when I started doing an art project, and wool became one of the things that a medium I wanted to use in that project. And I didn't start with spinning it, I started with needle felting it, which is, it's a really fun way to interact with wool. Needle felting. You basically just repetitively stab at the wool with these needles. Oh, there's a little short. Let's see, and these are, you can see kind of how wispy that is. And then when I pull it, it just kind of all comes apart. And so this is like the staple length. So you can see it's pretty short. So this might be a good example to try and needle felt with. And that one's kind of short. And so some of these, so you can see some of this wool is longer. So you have more opportunity to get that twist into it. So we just start with the little tips at the top. find our little, so we're adding just to this little poof right here. That's, oh, if I can spread it apart a little bit. I want those little fibers to interlock. And then once we get twist in there, it's just going to pull right into the next. Let's see. So spinning isn't that hard to do. It's all about your hands. So it's working up the sensitivity in your hands. So I can look at this fiber and I can pull it apart. And I'm making kind of like a triangle. It's easier to gauge how many fibers you have going into that triangle. So if it was a short staple length, this would just pull right apart right here. And so we need that twist to continue to travel fiber to fiber to fiber. And then sometimes you'll see it get really thin. I got a little thin right here. And I'm still trying to hit that 45-degree angle. We'll find out when we ply it and we get it off that bobbin and see how it hangs. We want it to hang nice and even. Sometimes it'll twist if there's too much twist going on, but we'll just see. This is a fun project. So fun. All right, I talked to you a little bit about, let's see, kind of how I got spinning. So this woman I worked with, she taught me so much. Crystal Dobbs. She used to own Boll Weaver Yarns, and I bought a lot of stuff from her over the years, including this spinning wheel. Somebody asked, how much is a spinning wheel? I think it was a few $100s for this one. So it was a bit of an investment, but if it's your passion, if it's the tool you need to get the job done, I wouldn't exactly say spinning is my passion. I'm a multi-potentialite, so I like doing lots of different things. Spinning, I enjoy a lot. I also enjoy basket weaving, and I really like to weld, but I only got 2 arms, so you can only do one thing at a time. I'm supposed to be keeping track of the time, and I think I've forgotten that already. Pretty much got, I think, 2.5 hours for carding. So I think I have that written down somewhere. And I stop and go and stop and go. I was spinning a little while ago, and then my mom came over. We had a nice little chat while I was spinning. And I have super awesome news. Everything is going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Today, I had a tank top on out in the sunshine. And I've been walking out barefoot. And what else? What else? The geese are flying north. Like, oh, the red wing blackbirds have been chirping away in the morning. Oh, beautiful. So I went barefoot today. Huge, huge. Spring is coming. I'm ready. I'm massively vitamin D deficient. I'm ready. Okay. Did we cover everything? No. I think it was something like, what's been your longest project? Oh, sometimes I feel a little crazy. One of my projects was 10 years. And then let's see. And then I went for another 10-year project. Here's one of my 10-year projects. Oh, let's see. This way? No. This way. Yeah. How about that hat? So this is one of my 10-year projects. And it's actually like a co-creation. So these here are my dreadlocks. And this is, an alpaca hat. It's a wet felted alpaca hat that a friend gave me. And it was big enough so I could put it over my dreadlocks. And then I shrunk it. And it was almost so perfect because when I shrunk it, it ended up being the perfect thing for me to add my dreadlocks to when I cut my hair. So you can see inside, my dreadlocks are sewn all the way in. So my dreadlocks actually touch my head. And then you can see the different yarn. So this is all yarn that I hand spun. This is yarn that I dyed with marigolds. Tehran Hayawako. That's my hat. Tehran Hayawako is a Kuiper belt object that goes through a dwarf planet in the Kuiper belt object. Planet way out there. They say it's the Iroquois farm god. And when I was making this, that dwarf planet was going over where I was, or over the planet. And so it's my connection to source. When I cut my dreads off, it was, I didn't want to lose my connection to spirit. So I can always have my connection. So 10-year project, growing my own fiber. I was the sheep for 10 years. That was a project. So there's a little bit of my artsy stuff and kind of how I incorporate things in. And you can see how I like mixing medias, mixing things up a little bit and playing with it and making them fun and whimsical. See you soon. Take care. Bye.